This is Jarvis Leatherby of the heavy metal band Night Demon, and you are experiencing Poppitt's Corner.
Yeah, we're on, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, man? I am joined by now my good brethren, so now I can call you good brethren because I've met you in real life. Mr. Allen from Contemplating Murder. How you doing, sir? Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So what brings you on? Just hanging on a fucking Saturday?
Sherman said you guys are going to be here, and he said come on down, so here I am.
Absolutely, man. Well, make sure to talk into the microphone. I don't want to, hear you from far away. So
well, I don't think the guests want to hear just you and I. What?
Well, they might, but I don't, I'm not trying to showcase me or you.
Yeah, there we go.
So I want to hear about the band.
Yeah, so talk to us, man.
We're a doom, sludgy kind of death metal band. We don't do the blasty beat stuff. We do a little bit, but for the most part, we're slow and heavy. We've been together for about 4 years now, and we played around Long Beach. We played a show in San Diego, but other than that, we just play around, do it for fun. Realistically, we're not trying to make any money because we're not.
It's more for fun. It's more for fun, right?
Yeah. It's we've been together. The guys that I play with, Ryan and Greg, I've known since elementary school. So we've been playing for years.
Yeah.
And
how many years?
Well, talk to me real quick. Hold on a second. I want to know when the band was formed.
Yeah.
The band was formed roughly 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Originally, Ryan Parks, the lead guitarist and vocalist.
Okay, he doesn't park cars, but he parks.
Yeah,
okay,
Ryan
that's cool.
Parks. He's been in multiple bands for 20 years, or more, and he was bringing back his old band, Poets of the Plague. And he was getting Al Noxious together and his old bass player, and Renee Maxwell was his drummer from back then. They were going to do a reunion thing, right? And then some things happened with Al, the bass player, to where he couldn't play. So he asked me, "Hey, dude, you have your old bass?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's all, "You want to play?" I'm like, "Yeah."
That's great.
I'm not doing nothing. And so, we were going to get together. We played one time with Renee, but she had back issues. She actually just recently had back surgery, so she's healing and doing well.
Good.
Super great chick and great drummer, too. But so we didn't get to do that, so we brought in our friend Greg, who we just kind of fucked around with, and he would play every once in a while, just messing around. And we thought, he's like, we'll learn some of the Poets of the Plague song, and maybe we'll play, just for fun, just a jam. And it just kind of grew from there, realistically, and we started fucking around. And I was like, hey, how about we do this? And he's like, oh shit, yeah, we'll put a real heavy riff on this, and let me, and then he brought some songs and because he's a writer, he sells old books and stuff like that, antique kind of shit. And so he's been a writer, most of his life. His dad wrote for the, Daily Breeze and, the Times and stuff. He's, got that in his blood. And he's really into old books, and...
Does that influence some of the lyrics that he's written for the songs?
Yeah, a lot of our stuff is real horror-inspired and that kind of stuff. And he likes, his story, his songs are more like a story, as opposed to just, like I write. I'm just like, rah, I'm mad, and rah, 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 but his
I ain't
stuff...
contemplating murder.
You're
on
mad.
Going to be contemplating murder in a minute, right? But so his stuff is
maybe on a toilet seat.
More of a
I don't
structured
know.
Story, like our song True Knot is about The Shining. And like the second half of that, and so it's
it's about 90 minutes.
So,
but with only 5 minutes of it being really good, right?
So it's really kind of really important that if you know all the lyrics, it makes even just the performance even better to see you guys, don't you think?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And and our stuff is it's really heavy, but it's got it's a bang your head music. I dare you to go to a show and not bang your head.
That's great.
It's that type of music to where it's got a good groove. We get a different crowd. We have a lot of different friends who like a lot of different stuff too, and everybody comes and enjoys it. So
good.
Makes it possible to play with many different types of bands too.
So this band 4 or 5 years. Were you in other bands before that, or?
Me and Ryan were in a punk band probably maybe 10 years before that.
Okay.
Embryo Picnic. And that was just another, we were fucking around. It was actually me and my buddy that I lived with. We were Embryo Picnic, as a joke, right? And I played.
That's a great name.
Right, yeah. It's funny. I came up with that when we were in high school.
It's disturbing, but it's a great name.
Well, Jello Biafra had a spoken word album back then, and he went through like a bunch of band names, like funny, and we were getting drunk and smoking pot, and we're like, coming up with names. And my buddy, my best friend at the time, Jim, was like, dude, Embryo Picnic. And I was like, dude, that is fucking sick.
That's all it takes sometimes.
Well, it's offensive and catchy all at the same time, right? It's perfect as a punk rock
I'm
band.
imagining something I don't want to imagine, though. So
Right?
imagining
I mean,
like a
it's
picnic
perfect.
blanket with a bunch of embryos.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Where you're fucking feeding somebody like embryos or something. That's
There's really
fucking
not
weird,
enough
dude.
meat on this for me to get a meal.
it's the album name that when your parents see that album sitting on your.
So
on
you
your
needed a
dresser,
bit
man.
more mainstream name, so you went with Contemplating Murder. So I want to know real quick on the self-titled album that came out in like 2014.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Well, it was mostly written most of the songs were written by Ryan, because that was, like I said, at that time he was kind of building everything, and he's more of a writer. Like I said, I've played drums for 20 years. I'd always fucked around on the guitar and played, bass and sang, and I was kind of a jack of all trades, but a master of none, realistically.
Aren't we all, huh?
Yeah, I was like, I just like to play. It's like, hey, I could sit down with you and play. If you're playing metal, I'll sit down and play. I'll play some reggae, whatever. I'll just sit down and play because I just want to play. And so when he called me and said, hey, do you want to play the bass? I was like, yeah, I think I have it in my garage somewhere. Fuck yeah, I want to play. I'm not playing anything. So it was a building project, in that respect of, just putting everything together, and it just came together. Me and him have always had a good timing together, whether, I was playing guitar and he's fucking around on the drums or vice versa. We've always just had it when you're just jamming, and you're like, make the changes at the same time, even though you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
You're just like,
That's a good feeling, though.
yeah,
It's chemistry.
and it's cool to play with somebody like that.
Sure.
We've always had that.
And so, talk to me about the recording process of this album. So you wrote the songs, you got the songs together, you jammed with Ryan, right? So how did it transpire to be like, yeah, we should go record these? Like, what studio was it recorded?
We
There's
did
no
it
information
at Dungeon
on this.
Studios in L.A.
Okay.
With I think it's Adrian, and I forget his last name, but
Villanueva.
yeah, he's a super cool guy.
So wait, you say it so the whole audience can hear?
Villanueva.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
So-
super cool guy. It's in kind of up by Dodger Stadium, little tiny studio. It's an actual dungeon studio.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
smaller
much
than this.
The 5 and the 2 meet or something?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Super cool guy and did a great job. He pulled out of us more than we had when we got there. He's that type of guy. He's a metalhead. He's played with Sadistic Intent. He's played with a lot of different bands. So he's, when
How long did it take you to record that?
it took us about probably a couple of days, realistically, to get the drums down and bass and then the guitars. Ryan doubles up on the guitars, and then he kind of doubles up on the vocals. Kind of does like a Carcass style, rah, rah, rah,
Nice.
on both.
So how did you record it, though? Did you have pre-production tracks already pretty much laid out and you just went into the studio to record them, or did you do it with a scratch track?
Basically, yeah,
to a
we
click?
came in, we did you do a scratch track. We'd all played, and then Greg played to the, did the drums,
You're
to
right, they
that,
took out the
and then-
drums from the scratch
yeah,
track, and then they brought
just
in.
pieced it together like that. Yeah.
And
Okay.
is that pretty fast? 3 days worth of work, or?
Yeah, if you're doing
Well,
it
I mean, as far as there was some remixing and stuff like that, but as far as the playing wise and the pretty much was, I think it was 3 or 4 days.
And
then
now-
the mixing was maybe another week. Getting everything
who mixed
together.
it? The same guy?
Yeah,
Okay, and then mastering, same guy?
Same guy.
Wow.
And is that the first album that you have been a part of, or did you do other stuff?
We did do one with Embryo Picnic.
Okay.
We did two, but one didn't come out.
Okay.
Now, what are the album cover for this? Because I'm thinking of like a Spinal Tap, like kind of like picnic thing where a bunch of I don't know what the fuck is
You
on
know,
that cover,
Embryo
dude.
Picnic was, you guys would laugh. We were a punk rock band, but we're a conservative punk rock band. So we were like,
Oh, that's badass.
we're
dude.
against fucking the government in the ultimate way.
That's
I don't want to be,
badass.
I don't want the government to be my mom. I don't need anything from the government. I don't want the government to take anything from me either. So it was the flag with us on it, and it said "Tax the Nation."
There you go.
Like that.
So
So okay, well, what do you have coming up for as far as Contemplating Murder goes? Besides, not like murdering anybody. I'm talking about the band here.
Yeah, I
so
want to hear about some shows.
not murder.
well, we are going to be
some
playing
shows.
with Sherm's band Insecticide
Okay.
on June 1st. It's
the
at
Shermanator, dude. Love it.
I don't remember it's at the Cider House. I guess it's not too far from here.
Yeah.
And
The Cider House. I've never heard of that.
yeah, I've
place.
never heard of it. I guess it's a new place, but he asked us to play with them, so we're like, fuck yeah, we played with
because
them
we're
before.
broadcasting out of Glendora, I think, right now.
Gardena.
Gardena. I always get those two confused. Gardena. Yeah, close enough, right?
So the cider
Not
house.
really.
Yeah, that'll be our next show. We played in DP Oz's in November.
Okay.
And that was a 6 show with the Shermanation too.
Okay.
And but we've been working on a lot of new stuff. We've got probably 6 or 7 songs put together. So
I'm surprised you
hoping to
haven't
maybe
released
get back in
anything
the
since then.
Yeah, we're hoping to get back in the studio. We did bring in a new guitar player, Carlo, and he's really brought another heaviness to it. And he's a lead guitar player, really sick.
Hell
And,
yeah, man.
He's adding a lot more to the band.
The new guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
of
new
course.
guy. No, he's really good. Super cool guy. We met him at a show at the Overtime and over off Main Street, not too far from here, when we played with Sentence to Burn the first time. And he was just taking pictures of the bands and then sent them to us. Super good photographer, and we just became friends from there. And then he was like, yeah, actually, when I was in the Philippines, I used to play in a metal band too. And then he showed us some shit, and we're like, holy fucking, this dude fucking tears it up. He's like fucking Dimebag, he's, Pantera influence. So he's like, we're like, oh.
Love it.
Don't expect me to do that on the bass, all right? I'm just going to follow along, right? But he's been a great addition, so it's been awesome.
And big shout out to Mario and Paul, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. They're super
Big shout
cool.
out. So,
super cool guys.
I want to thank you, Alan, for coming on the show and hanging with us for a bit. Really
Hey, no
appreciate
problem.
coming to
Thanks
your
for
time.
having me, man.
Absolutely, man. I want to get you on an episode where, like, I pretty much what the show is I go through your entire discography from like start to finish.
Okay.
On your musical career, how you picked up the instrument and everything else until the day you're talking to me, pretty much on Poppitt's Corner. So I'd love to get the opportunity to interview you, if you don't mind, on a future date.
Yeah, sure.
Because this is kind of like a tease.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
so
Love
it's kind of
teases.
like, yeah,
So the bra's not all the way off. It's
yeah.
just enough.
Yeah.
Start throwing them dollars.
That's right. So let's get you on like a future episode. I'd really appreciate that. And thanks for giving us a couple minutes of your time. I really
Hey, no
appreciate
problem,
it.
man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, man.
Nice to meet you,
that.
man.
Absolutely.